My fiancée told me she needed to find herself before our wedding and suggested we take a short break. I told her to take all the time she needed. Then I quietly listed our house and accepted a buyer's offer. She's coming back tomorrow, and wait until she meets the new owners. I'm 36, male, and was engaged to Olivia, 27, female, for about 9 months. We'd been together for 5 years total, living together for the past 3 years in a house I purchased before we met. The wedding was planned for next summer, everything booked, deposits paid mostly by her family since they wanted a lavish celebration. About 9 weeks ago, Olivia hit me with this. She needed to find herself before we married and wanted a short break to figure out what she truly wanted. When someone says they need to find themselves, it's often a polite way of saying they want to explore other options without outright cheating. I kept my thoughts to myself. How long are you thinking? I asked. Maybe 2 months, 3 at most. Just some space to think without the wedding planning stress. Where would you stay? My friend Ava said I could stay at her place. She's got a spacious condo in the city center and is always traveling for work. Ava, the single friend who's been telling Olivia for months that she's settling down too young and should live more before committing, made perfect sense. I looked at this woman I was supposed to marry in 6 months, asking for a break to crash at her single friend's city condo. Take all the time you need, I said. She seemed relieved, like she expected an argument. Really? You understand? I understand completely. I love you, Nathan. This is just something I need to do for us. Sure it is. She packed 4 suitcases that night, far more than someone planning a short break would need. Before she left, she handed me her house key. I won't need this while I'm finding myself, she said with a smile. She drove off, and I sat in my house, processing what just happened. My fiancé essentially asked for permission to test the waters with other people while keeping me as a fallback option. Here's what Olivia doesn't know. The house we've been living in for 3 years is mine, bought 5 years ago before I even met her. Her name's not on the deed, the mortgage, or any utilities. We kept our finances completely separate throughout our relationship because she insisted on maintaining her independence. She paid me monthly rent to cover her share of expenses, but legally the property is 100% mine. She also doesn't know that developers have been contacting me for over a year. The neighborhood's been rapidly upscale, and my house is on a prime corner lot ideal for a luxury apartment complex. I ignored these calls because Olivia loved the house, and we were planning to build our life there. But now that she's off finding herself, my priorities have shifted. Monday morning, I called the most persistent developer back. Still interested in my property on Cedar Avenue? Absolutely. We've been hoping you'd reconsider. What's your best offer? We can do $450,000 cash, close in 50 days. We've had the property appraised, and we're ready to move quickly. The house is worth about $330,000 on the regular market. This is an extra $120,000 for a fast sale to someone who plans to tear it down. I'll need to think about it. Can you send the formal offer? You got it. Tuesday, I took a personal day and met with a real estate lawyer to go over my options. Since you're not married and her name isn't on any ownership documents, you have full rights to sell, he confirmed. However, after 3 years of cohabitation, you should document that she was paying rent as a tenant, not building equity. I had bank records of her monthly payments labeled as rent. Perfect. That establishes a clear landlord-tenant relationship, not co-ownership. What about her personal belongings? You'll need to provide proper notice before disposing of anything. I'd recommend written notice with a reasonable time frame for her to collect her items. Wednesday, I reviewed the developer's offer with the lawyer. Everything checked out. I signed the agreement for a 50-day close. Thursday, I started notifying Olivia about her belongings. I texted her, "Need to discuss your personal property since you've moved out. Can you call when convenient?" She called that evening, sounding like she was having a blast wherever she was. "Hey babe, what's up with my stuff? Since you've moved out indefinitely, I need to know your plans for your belongings." Moved out indefinitely? I'm just taking a break. A break where you took 4 suitcases and gave me your key back. That's moving out. Nathan, don't be dramatic. I'm coming back when I'm ready. I need a timeline. The house situation is changing, and I need to plan accordingly. What do you mean the house situation is changing? I may be making some decisions about the property. I need to know if you want your things or if I should handle them. Of course I want my things. They'll be fine where they are until I come back. That might not be possible. Can you come get them this weekend? I'm not ready to come back yet. Can't they just stay there? Olivia, you moved out. I'm treating this as what it is. You ending our living arrangement. You're being ridiculous. It's a temporary break. Then you can temporarily store your belongings somewhere else. I gave her a week to arrange pickup, but she didn't take it seriously. The following Thursday, I rented a storage unit and carefully packed all her belongings. I took photos of everything, kept receipts, and documented the process. I sent her the storage unit details and told her she'd need to contact the facility directly to access her items. I can't believe you're doing this, she texted back. You asked for space. I'm giving you space. Week 3 brought more photos from Olivia's adventures. She was clearly thriving, posting from clubs, concerts, and weekend getaways with Ava and her crew. She looked like she was loving her newfound freedom. Meanwhile, I was coordinating inspections, appraisals, and closing paperwork. Everything was on track for the 50-day close. Week 4. Olivia posted photos from a trip to Los Angeles with the girls' pictures at beach clubs, upscale restaurants, living her best single life. In one photo from a trendy bar, she was sitting very close to some guy I didn't recognize. Our mutual friend Zoe mentioned seeing the posts. Olivia looks like she's really enjoying her break. Seems like she's found what she was looking for. Week 5. I stepped up closing preparations. I found a modern one-bedroom apartment across town with a month-to-month lease while I figured out my next move. I started moving my personal belongings, leaving only the basic furniture that came with the house. Olivia's social media activity continued: more parties, more trips, more photos, with people I didn't know. Week 6. Olivia called me. Hey, I think I'm ready to start thinking about coming home soon. Oh, really? Yeah. This break has been really good for me. I feel like I've gotten some clarity. That's great. You sound different. Are you okay? I'm fine, just busy with some life changes. What kind of life changes? We'll discuss it when you're ready to come back. Nathan, you're making me nervous. What's going on? Nothing to worry about. Focus on finding yourself. Week 7. The closing happened. The $450,000 check cleared, and officially, I no longer owned the house on Cedar Avenue. The new owners planned to gut renovate before eventually demolishing it, and they took possession immediately. Week 9, Olivia texted, Okay, I'm really ready to come home now. This weekend, maybe? I miss you, and I miss our house. Looking forward to seeing you, I replied. Saturday morning, the new owners were at the house with contractors, planning their renovation. I met them there to hand over the spare key Olivia had left when she moved out. Just so you know, someone might show up later today thinking they still live here. She's been out of town for 2 months and doesn't know about the sale yet. Should we call the police? Probably not necessary. She'll figure it out quickly. Saturday afternoon, my phone started ringing around 4 p.m. Olivia was calling. I let it go to voicemail. She called again. Voicemail. On the third call, I answered. Nathan, what the hell is going on? There are strangers in our house, and they say they own it now. They do own it. What do you mean they own it? I sold the house. Closed last week. Silence. You sold our house? I sold my house. The one I bought before we met. The one with only my name on everything. But I lived there. You lived there. You moved out 9 weeks ago to find yourself, remember? This was temporary. You know I was coming back. You said you needed space to figure out what you really wanted. Based on your social media posts, it looked like you were figuring it out. Those were just me having fun during our break. Having fun with other guys? The guy in your Los Angeles bar photo? You looked pretty comfortable together. That's just some friend of Ava's. It didn't mean anything. I'm sure it didn't. Nathan, this is insane. You can't just sell our house while I'm gone. It was my house. And you weren't gone. You were finding yourself. I hope you found what you were looking for. Where am I supposed to live? I don't know. Maybe ask Ava. Or that friend from Los Angeles. My stuff. All my belongings are in that house. Your stuff is in storage unit 408 at Urban Storage on Elm Street. You'll need to contact them directly to access it. I texted her the facility's contact information. You packed up my entire life? I packed up your belongings after giving you proper notice. You chose not to collect them. This is crazy. We're engaged. We're supposed to get married in 6 months. We're supposed to get married. People who are getting married don't usually move out to explore other options. It wasn't about other options. Then what was it about? I just needed some time to make sure I was making the right decision. Well, I hope the last 9 weeks helped you figure that out. Nathan, please, we can fix this. I choose you. I choose us. You chose 9 weeks ago when you decided you needed to find yourself. I'm just respecting that choice. Where are you living now? I found a place. Can I come over? We need to talk face to face. I don't think that's necessary. You got your space to figure things out and I got mine. What's that supposed to mean? It means I spent 9 weeks thinking about what I really wanted too. Turns out, what I wanted was someone who was sure about marrying me. I am sure now. Now that your adventure is over and you need a place to live, that's not fair. What's not fair is asking your fiancé for a break so you can party with other people while keeping him as a backup plan. It wasn't a backup plan. Then what would you call it? Silence. Nathan, I made a mistake. I see that now. But we can work through this. You can work through it. I already have. What about the wedding? We have deposits, bookings. People are expecting invitations. Your family can handle the cancellations, since they paid for most of it. Or maybe find yourself a new groom. Don't be like this. Don't be like what? Like someone who doesn't want to marry someone who needs to date other people to be sure about me. I didn't date other people, right? You just needed 9 weeks away from me to hang out with guys in Los Angeles and go clubbing with Ava's single friends. Nothing happened. I'm sure it didn't. Just like I'm sure you're really ready to settle down now that you've gotten it out of your system. Nathan, please. Olivia, you asked for time to find yourself. You found yourself. I found myself too. Turns out we found different things. So that's it? 5 years together? And you're just done? You were done 9 weeks ago when you moved out to explore your options. I'm just making it official. I hung up and turned off my phone. Update 1, 120 hours later. It's been 5 days since Olivia discovered the house was sold, and the fallout has been exactly what I expected. She's been scrambling to figure out her next move while I've been enjoying the peace of having made a clean break. Sunday, my phone was flooded with messages I didn't read until Monday morning. 52 missed calls, dozens of texts ranging from furious to pleading to desperate. The highlights. This is the most vindictive thing anyone has ever done to me. You destroyed my life because you're mad about a break. I'm sorry I needed time, but this is psychotic. Please call me back. We can fix this. I love you, and I want to marry you. I'll do anything to make this right. Monday afternoon, I got a call from Ava, who got dragged into the mess. Nathan, what the hell did you do? Olivia's been hysterical for days. I sold my house and moved out. Same thing Olivia did 9 weeks ago. That's not the same thing at all. You're right. When Olivia moved out, she kept me as a backup plan. When I moved out, I didn't. She wasn't keeping you as a backup plan. She just needed some space. Right. Space to party with you and your single friends while her fiancé waited at home. It wasn't like that. Ava, I saw the photos. The Los Angeles trip. The clubs. The guy at the bar. That's not someone taking a break to think about marriage. That's someone acting single. She was just having fun. I'm sure she was. Now she can have fun permanently. You're being cruel. I'm being practical. Olivia wanted to explore her options while keeping me available. I removed myself from availability. She chose you. She came back. She came back when her adventure was over, and she needed a place to live. That's not the same as choosing me. Ava tried guilt-tripping me for another 15 minutes, but I wasn't interested. Tuesday brought a call from Olivia's mom, which was awkward since I'd always gotten along with her family. Nathan, Olivia told us what happened. This seems very extreme. It's been 9 weeks in the making, Mrs. Carter. She said you sold the house while she was staying with a friend. She moved out 9 weeks ago to find herself. I used that time to find myself too. But you were engaged. We've put deposits down, sent save the dates. Olivia put those things on hold when she decided she needed a break to figure out if she wanted to marry me. She was just nervous about such a big commitment. I understand that. I just don't understand why being nervous required moving out and partying for 2 months. Young people sometimes need time to be sure. Some people do. But when you're being sure about marriage, you don't usually do it by acting single and posting photos with other guys. Long pause. Other guys? Check her social media from the last 9 weeks. See what finding herself looked like. Another pause. Nathan, her father and I have spent a lot of money on this wedding. I'm sorry about that. But Olivia's the one who put everything on hold when she decided she needed a break. Maybe we could all sit down and talk about this. Mrs. Carter, Olivia made her choice when she moved out. I made mine when I realized what that choice meant. Wednesday, Olivia tried a different approach. She showed up at my office around lunchtime. We need to talk face to face. I think we covered everything on the phone. No, we didn't. You blindsided me with selling the house. That's not fair. What would have been fair? Calling you while you were in Los Angeles to ask permission to sell my own house? You could have told me you were considering it. I could have done a lot of things. I could have fought the break idea. I could have demanded to know what finding yourself really meant. I could have told you that engaged people don't usually need to move out and party to figure out if they want to marry. I wasn't partying that. Olivia, I saw the photos from Los Angeles. You were living it up with like Ava's you friends were single, while I waited at home wondering if you'd decide I was worth marrying. That's not how it was. That's exactly how it was for me. You wanted to see what else was out there while keeping me as your safe option. I was never looking at other guys. Then what was the break for? I just needed some time to think. About what? About whether I was ready for marriage. And partying for 2 months helped you figure that out? It helped me realize I wanted to be with you. It helped you realize you didn't want to be alone when the party was over. She started crying, which I expected. Nathan, I made a mistake. But people make mistakes. That doesn't mean we should throw away 5 years. You threw away 5 years when you decided you needed a break 2 months before our wedding. I can make this right. You can't make this right. You can only live with the consequences of your choices. What about our plans? Our future? Our plans ended when you moved out to find yourself. Our future ended when I realized you weren't sure you wanted one with me. I am sure now. Now that you've explored your options and need a place to live, it's not about needing a place to live. Olivia, you literally told me you were ready to come home the day before you found out I sold the house. That's not someone who's sure about marriage. That's someone who's done with their adventure. She cries for a few more minutes, but I don't change my mind. So, that's really it? We're really over? We were over 9 weeks ago when you decided you needed to find yourself. I just made it official. Final update. 6 months later. It's been 6 months since Olivia's self-discovery journey ended, with her realizing she no longer had a home to return to, and everything has settled exactly where it belongs. Olivia ended up moving in with her parents while searching for her own apartment. According to Zoe, she's been telling people I'm cruel and vindictive for selling the house without warning, conveniently leaving out the part about moving out for 2 months to party while keeping me on standby. The wedding was officially canceled. Her family lost most of their deposits, which caused some family tension. Her mom called me one more time, asking if I'd consider covering some of the losses since I caused the cancellation by selling the house. I reminded her that Olivia caused the cancellation by deciding she needed a break. The $450,000 from the house sale is invested while I figure out my next steps. I might buy another property eventually, but the financial freedom feels incredible right now. Olivia made several more attempts to reconcile over the past few months. She tried the I learn my lesson approach, the we can go to counseling approach, and even the I'll sign a prenup approach. None of it worked, because the core issue remains. She doesn't grasp that asking for a break 2 months before a wedding to find yourself isn't something you come back from. She sees it as a fixable mistake, not a revelation of her true feelings about our relationship. The most telling conversation happened 8 weeks ago, when she called me late one night. "Nathan, I need you to understand something. I really did love you. I still do. I believe you loved me. Then why can't we work through this? Because love isn't enough when it comes with uncertainty. You loved me enough to marry me, but you weren't sure you wanted to. Those are two different things. I am sure now. You're sure now because your alternative didn't work out. That's not the same as being sure about me. What alternative? Whatever you were looking for during those 9 weeks. Whatever made you think you needed space to figure things out. I wasn't looking for someone else. Maybe not consciously, but you were looking for something that made you feel like you were missing out by marrying me. That's not true. Olivia, people who are excited about getting married don't need breaks to think about it. They need breaks when they're not sure it's what they want. I was just scared. Scared of what? Scared of making a mistake, right? Scared that marrying me was a mistake. That's exactly my point. She couldn't argue with that because it was exactly what she'd been feeling. So what if I was scared? That doesn't mean I didn't want to marry you. It means you weren't ready to marry me. And if you weren't ready after 5 years together, you were never going to be ready. That call ended with her crying and me feeling relieved that I'd made the right choice. The best part of all this is how clean the break was. No shared property to fight over. No complicated financial entanglements. No joint debts. Just a clean separation from someone who wasn't sure she wanted to be with me. I've been seeing someone new for the past 2 months. Met her through a mutual friend at a work event. She's a graphic designer, direct, honest. And when I told her about my previous relationship, her response was spot on. Who asks for a break before their wedding? That's wild. Olivia's adventure taught her that the grass isn't greener, that single life isn't as thrilling as she imagined, and that stable relationships have value. But by the time she learned those lessons, I'd already moved on to someone who didn't need to learn them. The revenge wasn't elaborate or malicious. It was simply just me refusing to be her safety net while she explored her options. She wanted the freedom to test her freedom, while keeping me available for when a stable option came up, she was done. Instead, she lost the security she took for granted and learned that some decisions have lasting consequences. Perfect justice. She got exactly what she'd asked for. All the time and time freedom she needed find herself to figure things out. She just didn't expect to find herself without a home to come back to.